tell you about the Ptolemy Sports, I'd just like to say long may it continue. My name is Sheila Hutchinson and I grew up in this area. I went to school at Tumbleup, which is not very far from here. In 1886, the school teacher, Matthew Burke, and the community decided to organise a combined Wombat School picnic and athletic sports day and a dance in the school at night. And this venture proved to be so successful that it became an annual event. So then in 1889, the place name of Wombat changed to Ptolemy, and the sports that gained recognition as being a great day out. 125 years later, it's still, the community is still binding together to organise and run the traditional Ptolemy sports.
My name's Tony Wilkes. I'm a 20-year resident of Ptolemy, and this year I was entrusted with the job of coordinating the woodshop and a few other of the display events for the weekend, and I'm currently acting as Vice President of the Ptolemy Sports. Well, my knowledge of it is that it's originally started as a picnic sporting event for the community 125 years ago. That's grown a lot in those years to incorporate lots of different activities, from obviously the wood chopping, which is one of the main highlights, to equestrian events with the locals' ponies and horses, and there's a number of events there. Lots of displays, children's races, and obviously other various entertainments, lots of food and the odd beer to be had.
Traditionally, they've stuck pretty well with the same sort of sports. They've had equestrian events and pedestrian events, I guess you would call them, with a lot of children's races, and they usually make it a very family-orientated day where they can really enjoy themselves, and it's a great place for people to come and relax and have a good day's out.
We had slow car races, of course, and chainsaw races over the back here, and for a couple of years, I think, and with Dunny races, of course.
Oh yeah, the Dunny races, that's right, I forgot about them.
Pretty exciting, but we haven't had them for years.
I think one of the so-called Dunnies is over there, I think, still in the shed.
Oh, right, yeah.
What's a Dunny race? Can you explain that for us?
Oh, just somebody sat in sort of a made-up lavatory with two big arms, and four blokes got on it, on each of the arms, and had to run from A to B, and first one there was the sort of the winner.
All sorts of things happened, like people getting chucked out on their head and all that sort of thing.
Picked out and fell to pieces. It was quite exciting, really.
It was very exciting sometimes.
It was hard work. Nearly as hard as work as Jack and Jill.
Another event that I thought was really well, and it took a bit of persuading to get happening, was the three-man challenge. Well, it's a relay event of 8 teams, and initially you'll start off with an axeman, and they all start off scratch, and they have to chop a standing block. Once that block is chopped, the axeman has to place his axe at the block, and then he's got to run to the gate and tag his relay runner. That runner then has to go and run and pick up a bag of chaff. I think it weighs about 30 kilograms. And he's got to carry that about 50 odd metres, and then run back and tag a bike rider. And the bike rider had to then do an obstacle course around the sports grounds into the finish line, and it was fantastic.
Well, I think our best sports was in 1939, when it was dry as a bone all around, and the fire started over there and finished up over here. And it started raining gently on sports morning, and everybody reckoned, well, not going to be a fire today, so they all came. We missed, as far as I can look in the records, we missed 2 years, I think, in the war. Yeah. But you did most of the early part of the war. It was towards the end of the war we missed a couple of years. Yeah.
I think the attendance was well up on previous years.
I think all the goals were achieved along the way. it can be gauged also on the amount of people that came through the gate as to the success of the event. I think we had well in excess of 2,000 for the weekend, and not talking about money at all, but I'm sure we made a reasonable profit which will go back into the community. Well, historically it's been 125 years, and look, has to keep going. It's something that the community is passionate about. You can't let that sort of thing go, and I think everyone understands that, and that's why we get so much participation. It's reliving everything that the forefathers or the pioneers that started here, from the timber industry to the settler farmers that came here and grew potatoes and other crops and reared cattle and cleared the land, and it's a matter of celebrating that history.
Some families hold family reunions at the Ptolemy Sports, and that's one way of bringing a few extra people in, and then it's usually by word of mouth. The people enjoy themselves so much they bring their friends back the next year.
Well, must mean a bit, because a lot of people from Mansfield are always saying, when's the next Ptolemy Sports? So, yeah.
Come from far and wide, don't they? They sort of come from
Yeah.
everywhere, really, yeah. So it must mean a fair bit, yeah. Like Don just said, yeah.
I've been coming here for 20 years now, and I wouldn't miss it.
Just a good day.